Well, g'day fishers, Friday fishing report time. Geez, we've had some rain. I tell you what, the bay's getting a really good flush at the moment. I think we will see some discoloured water moving down over the next few days. But I think that's only going to make the fishing pretty good in the lower half of the estuary. So just be prepared that we're going to have some dirty water move down the bay over the next few days, especially out of the Karua system and out of the Mile system. You can already see it coming out of the Mile already. That tea tree stained water pushing down, but it'll definitely fire up the brim, that's for sure. Now, junior competition for the school holidays in April. I tell you what an absolute cracker that we had. I think we had over 60 young kids in our fishing comp for the holidays, and there were some extraordinary fish released, actually. Some great photos sent in. Some cracking brim, 38 centimetre brim, some good tailor, 53 centimetre tailor. But also I'd like to mention to Bryson Flood, who actually managed a 93 centimetre flatty. So an absolute cracker of flatty that are released. I think he caught it up somewhere near Soldiers Point, looking at the photo. So an absolute cracker of a flatty, that's for sure. And to Shimano came on big time. I think we had about $1,500 worth of lures to give away. It was extraordinary. So thank you to Shimano for sponsoring that particular competition over the school holidays. Yes, we will run. We've been asked already. When will we run our next junior competition? Well, next school holidays, which I think is in probably June or July. So get ready for that one as well. We'll have different species up as well. So fantastic, and good on to all the kids that sent in some photos and entered. It was an absolute cracker, that's for sure. Now, with the bay fishing, like I said, we're going to have some dirty water, but that's going to absolutely brain the brim. It'll turn the brim on, that's for sure. They'll start to school up. This is a time of year where they school up, May into June, where they school up around the rock walls and places like that, getting ready to spawn. And it's actually really, really good fun if you're a lure fisherman. You want to throw a soft plastic around or a hard body, it's really, really good fun, those brim that school up, and you get some absolute crackers as well. I enjoy the fly rod, throwing some shrimp flies around at the moment. So definitely worth a shot on the brim at the moment. The flatties are still worth a shot. I think the lower half of the estuary will fish pretty well. Any of those beaches from Wanda Headland through to Corlette, through to Shoal Bay, over to Windawappa there at Jimmy's Beach, and the start of the shortcut will be worth a shot for a few flatties. I think they'll push right down at the moment. Shoal Bay Wharf, got to mention Shoal Bay Wharf. It's on fire this week. There's been some really good tailor, 40 to 50 centimetre tailor, first light and last light if you're keen on having a spin for those. There's been plenty of gar fishing around Shoal Bay off the wharf there, and also ludrick as well. So some nice ludrick turning up down that way. I had a bit of a walk with the dog late yesterday afternoon. Garies were showering, and I saw one longtail into them. There was only one single individual fish, but don't be surprised if they push in, especially on the incoming tide. You'll find those longtails will push right in the bay and meet that tide line, that dirty water. It meets the clear water. So the water's pretty clear offshore at the moment. So just check out for those longtails. The breakwater Nelson Baby, worth a shot for some nice brim. I did hear of a few ludrick early at the moment. They'll start to school up shortly, I think. So especially that dirty water, you'll find that ludrick will school up. Definitely worth a shot if you're keen. I just don't think you're going to get your bag limit in 20 minutes like you do in the middle of winter. I think you'll have to work for them a little bit, but definitely worth a shot, especially the southerly winds this weekend. So give that a crack. The brim be worth a shot, maybe even a mulloway if you're keen. And speaking of mulloway, I know Reese had a land-based session this week. Caught a nice one. I think it was 18 kilos. So absolute cracker of a fish for the estuary, especially land-based as well. So worth a shot on the mulloway at the moment, definitely in the boat as well. I think those fish will push down into those areas around the back of Soldiers Point, Middle Island, Fame Cove, all those particular haunts. Get a live bait or a fresh squid down there, you might catch a mulloway this weekend, that is for sure. Now, the beaches and rocks, well, it's been hard this week with the beaches. There's been lots of swell, but obviously you'll see a lot of trucks lined up at Fingal, 1 Mile, the northern end of Berrubi, and also Boat Harbour. Obviously, it's the start of the mullet season. Well, it's been going a little bit, but it'll really start to kick off now. So you'll see those trucks lined up to net the mullet. And it won't be too far till we get those big schools of brim. In fact, I think there's some good brim on the beaches already, so worth a shot on the brim. I think there'll be still a few whiting around. The water's still warm, around 21 degrees, so worth a shot on the whiting. Some good tail this time of year. If you're prepared to get up early or do the late session, There's some big tail that follow those mullet schools. And I'll tell you what, you can't beat a big surface lure. So if you're keen on doing that, stick baits off the beaches. It may sound a bit silly, but it's a good way to catch a big tailer. The other thing you can do, throw some big plastics off the beaches at the moment, because you will find there will be mulloway shadowing those mullet all through the gutters at the moment. On the rocks, yes, last weekend, longtails around. Some good longtails off the rocks at the moment. Those bigger models coming through, those 15 to 20 kilo models coming through. So definitely worth a shot at looking at live baiting the longtails. I think the weather this weekend, we've got sort of lighter southerlies. I think the swell may back off a little bit, but just check it out before you go and do that. But it looks okay this weekend, that's for sure. Now on the offshore scene, our mixed reports this week because of the weather. There was a glimmer of hope last weekend and a few boats got out. I actually went out last Friday afternoon doing a little bit of product testing. We have a new snapper rod that's on its way. Hopefully it's only about a week away. We're pretty excited about it actually. Dedicated soft plastic snapper rod. You can use it for bait fishing well, but it's an absolute cracker. We managed a quick session Friday afternoon at Fingal and got some nice reds up to 3 kilos on the plastics. It was a very, very tough gig, but we managed to get the job done. So some good snap around, and after this swell, definitely be worth throwing some plastics around the shallower reefs. Those 10, 15 metre, even 20 metre sort of areas will be worth throwing a few plastics around, up to Edith. Also the back of Broughton there, the sisters around North Island, the guts, all through there, be worth throwing a few plastics this weekend. I think you'll be able to get out Saturday. It looks okay, a little bit sloppy, but definitely looks fishable. Throwing some plastics or bait in the washers are definitely worth a shot. So if you're keen on doing that, it'd be worth a go this weekend. Still heard of a couple of cobia caught last weekend, so the cobes are still about. That warmer water should have pushed in with that southerly, about 22 degrees. So good enough for cobia. And if you want to go for a live bait, it'd be worth live baiting around the sisters there. I think you'll find there might be a couple of longtails and even a nice king up that way this time of year. Big kings will also shadow those mullet schools as well around the headland, so worth a shot with some big stick baits. Spoke to the crew on Calypso. They managed a day out on the shelf there last weekend, teaser fishing, fly fishing, and actually race 4 striped marlin. So still worth getting out on the shelf there. And I think Saturday will be the day if you're keen to do that. So worth a shot to get out on the shelf. And there'll still be dolphin fish around the fad. You can get out there around the fad there. There'll definitely still be dolphin fish on the fad at this time of year. You usually get those bigger models. So those fish that are 5 kilo, 10 kilos. So worth a shot on those, definitely. A few mac tuna around the washers. If you're keen on having a troll with some hard bodies, we'll get some mac tuna and bonito as well. So all in all, weekend looks good. Southerly winds, light southerlies. I think it comes away again Sunday into Monday, but definitely get out there on Saturday and give it a crack. Anyway, that's our fishing report for this week. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk next week.